by Quirktastic.
We're going to see what happens when I go to edit and blow my ears out. Hey guys, welcome back to the C3 podcast. My name is Nika Marie. I'm your host, and I'm here with three prolific ladies in the realm of media. Would you like to introduce yourself, starting with Miss Leticia?
Oh, thank you. So my name is Leticia. I am a screenwriter, filmmaker, anti-racism educator, and also a playwright. I just do all-around fun things, and I'm so happy to be here with Neeks.
She says this as though she were never going to be here, and that is almost insulting. How rude. Moving on to our next guest, Miss Jo.
Hi everyone, I'm Jo. People call me Jonah sometimes, you know. I am an actor, producer, and an Earth warrior.
Yes! If you guys want to know how serious that is, I offered her a bottle of water because I was afraid of her drinking from the tap, and she said no. I'm not insulted. I'm just concerned.
I just respect commitment.
Yes.
Yes. About to have that DC area water, y'all. So we'll see what happens.
Challenge is how the government will get us. I stick to this theory. My paranoia aside, last but certainly not least, and most fabulous, Miss Red.
Oh. Well, hello everyone. My name is Halima. I go by Red. I am a fashion vlogger. That's my first love. But I also, I do a little bit of modeling on the side. Mm-hmm. I get to be on panels with these lovely ladies. And in fact, I met Leticia actually at a fashion show way back when her cousin was presenting her collection. Mm-hmm. And so I travel all over the place. I have a great time. In fact, I came back recently I was in LA for LA Fashion Week, which was a lot of fun. And I just have a good time. That's basically it.
Hey. Weren't you at New York Fashion Week?
Oh yeah, I was.
You know how she likes to leave that out.
Right.
I did. I was at New York Fashion Week. I got to walk in a couple of shows that were, because what a lot of people don't realize is that there's New York Fashion Week and other fashion weeks that have the official schedule, but then there's also a bunch of fashion shows that happen all around. And New York is like, as I always say, because that's why we're a little late on this episode, was because it is my Super Bowl, my World Series, my Olympics, my everything. And it's just the whole week of just fashion shows everywhere. And it's just like,
love it.
Isn't DC Fashion Week happening right now?
DC
Is that
Fashion
what you were?
Week is happening right now.
She turned it down to be here, y'all. That's crazy.
I am missing the Men's Fashion Week right now. The Men's Fashion Week presentation. It was gonna be the presentation of Magnum men's underwear. That's right. That's right. But you know what is more important than abs and handsome models in underwear?
Nothing.
Podcast, okay? So, you know what? The founder of DC Fashion Week, his name is Ian Williams. He is an amazing person. Ian, thank you. I hope that you understand I got to be with my girls today. And you know what? I'll be there next time for the abs that I'm missing.
I can also be there for the abs.
Yes, me too.
This can be a group thing.
We need a volunteer.
You know what? The next podcast will be from abs.
We'll do it here with this man's abs.
You know, we can analyze them. So this ab, this is crunches. Yes. These are sports abs. This is lacrosse abs. Yes. This is swimmers abs.
Oh man, I deep dive into abs. I like it. Coming soon on my channel, Hamilton TV. Deep dive into abs.
I'm just saying, there's a diversity of, ab achievement and how you get there. Yes. I respect your ab journey no matter what it was.
Oh yeah, I like that. We're gonna do it. You think that we're kidding? You think we're gonna do it. You've given me an idea. I'm gonna reach out to Ian and we're gonna do it. Deep dive into abs coming soon.
Now that we've gone through that, time to talk about feminism.
Excuse me. That's included. That's included in feminism.
Feminism is about choice.
Yes.
And it is our choice.
And we have chosen to be thirsty hoes.
That's right. right.
Thank you
Okay?
for joining,
There's
everyone.
equality and thirst. Okay? Equality and thirst.
This whole podcast has been thrown into chaos, and now I don't know what to do.
As it was always meant to be.
As it was meant to be, we were supposed to be talking about the feminist impact of Birds of Prey, a movie that I have not seen, but these ladies have. So I'll be asking them questions about Birds of Prey.
That's a movie.
That's a movie.
It's a movie.
I hear
yes.
that they're actually going to rename it. Like, after all the internet chatter.
Well, you know what? Okay, so the entire initial title was like Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
That was the full title?
Yeah,
That's
that
the
was a
full
full
title.
title.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it was like super long, but also kind of cute and
Yeah.
super cute.
Yeah.
right?
I
and,
liked it.
Yeah,
I
and
still
like
like
the way that they wrote it was like Birds of Prey was like big letters, and then
The Fabulous Emancipation.
Right, that was like in like this like cute scribble, and so
I
it was
love
just
that.
kind of like, oh, that's adorable. But the theory with the whole renaming is that, oh, I guess people don't realize that Harley is in this, and I'm like, she's on every single
Yeah.
poster.
And in every single visual promo.
Right, honestly.
So
Well, allegedly Harley has a better SEO, so they were going
Yeah.
to go ahead and just put Harley Quinn.
and then.
I still watch it.
And it was like Harley Quinn, comma Birds of Prey, which doesn't make sense at all.
Because I mean, it's like, does she like transform into a bird
Right.
of prey?
right, but
I don't know
also
about
Right.
that, because that was like a whole show back in the day. Birds of Prey.
right,
Wait,
right,
yeah, did everyone here know what Birds of Prey was before the movie?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
like well, there was the show, and then it has this kind of own thing. Then
Yeah.
and then you have like the really original Birds of Prey, where you have Barbara Gordon,
Right.
and it was
Yep.
Oracle, and all that. So like, so you have like that entire thing. But if you do Harley Quinn, comma Birds of Prey, first of all, Harley Quinn is not a bird of
No,
prey.
she
She
was-
would
Yeah.
never be
Yeah,
a bird of
no.
prey, and that's not something that is in her lexicon. Like, so having them be separate entities actually makes sense as far
Yes.
as like comic books are concerned. But if you're trying to kind of use it as a marketing thing, I mean, you could have done something like Josie and the Pussycats. I mean,
Yeah.
that would have worked.
Yes! That's what I said.
It's just that their marketing team, I mean, all due respect, but I mean, we saw that with marketing Wonder Woman. The marketing
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was atrocious.
It was
Yeah.
okay. It
not
was
good.
it was like really lacking. And I mean, we all went to see it. So at least I
wait,
did at least
I'm-
1,700 times.
Yes, ma'am.
But the fact is, they did underwhelming marketing for Shazam. They did underwhelming
That was
marketing.
super
for,
underwhelming.
You know,
It was.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, guys, there's more. If it was a Batman movie, please.
Yeah.
They
it
don't
would
have to
be
market Batman
everywhere,
anymore.
Okay.
Right.
But then also, I feel like here's an interesting thing I feel about Birds of Prey. It's actually an independent movie.
Yeah.
You know, like and not like, you know, financially in the way they do it, but as far as like the content and the way it's shaped, it has more in common with like Fight Club, Momentum,
Yep.
Pulp Fiction. Like, it has more in common with those type of movies. And when it comes to kind of independent films, especially if you're thinking about independent films marketed toward women, you're thinking mostly like small romantic comedies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you
I
know,
definitely
My Big
want to touch on
Fat Greek Wedding or something
Fabulous
like that.
movie.
Great movie. You know, but it's kind of like, I feel like Hollywood does not know how to market like kind of independent, you know, female driven movies that are not romances. And even now they have a hard time marketing, like, 'cause since they, you know, they're like, oh, we're just going to do the big tentpole movies. They've definitely moved away from like those like smaller dramas. So I don't know if people like
What
forgot that
examples
they
for those,
exist.
though?
But like smaller dramas.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Movies like The Hours
Yeah.
or
With,
I've
with
never even
Nicole
heard of that.
Kidman, and she
Yeah.
was playing. Was she Virginia Woolf? Or?
yeah, she was Virginia
Yeah.
Woolf or like Cold Mountain or
Oh, okay.
you know, so like those like, you know, we're gonna be deep and definitely gonna win an Oscar for this.
Gross.
Like, but like those movies and I think that, you know, Birds of Prey as a movie is actually a movie that, if it had been like immediately streamed, oh my god! Like the moment that this thing hits streaming platforms, It's
gonna blow.
It's gonna
Yeah.
explode.
Yeah.
And yes, it is rated R, and yes, Harley is, doing a little cocaine. It's okay.
Who didn't think Harley did cocaine?
Yeah.
Honestly.
But yes, this will be streamed by 12-year-old girls, and they will be better for it.
Yes.
You be good, girl.
They will be
Yes.
better for this experience. So yes, I totally advocate little 12-year-old girl out there.
watching cocaine use. Good.
Watch this movie, enjoy the sleepover, have fun.
Yes.
I expect you all to yell and scream and
yeah.
enjoy it and laugh,
yeah.
and your life will be better for
Hilarious.
it. Also,
I love it.
you will, that scene, and when you see this, and I say that scene, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. In that scene, that means that you will, yes, that is true. What happened to Harley is true, and you will be
Yes.
able to recognize it and beat someone's ass.
That's
Oh,
right.
good. I'm assuming there's gaslighting in this movie.
You know what? There's everything in this movie, and that's one thing that I love is that it is from a woman's perspective
Yes.
and everything like that. But I mean, I hate to have to qualify and say, oh, it's for everybody, but the default is always that a comic book movie is for dudes, which
Right.
is not true. But what we found, I mean, there's this one scene, I'm sure you've seen it, where, I mean, they're fighting, and Black Canary's hair is getting all up in her face
Yes.
and everything, and then Harley recognizes that instinctively, gives her a hair tie as, let me tell you, I
Yes.
felt that in my soul. And I was just like, okay, you know what? I respect and I love the fact that that was included. And that scene that you were just discussing, we've all been through. You know the scene that we're talking about. When you watch it, you will see the scene and you'll be like, oh, we've been through it.
But
everybody's been through
But
it.
not only have you been through it, and it feels we're talking around it, so we'll just talk.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, there's a scene where it's very clear that Harley has basically been roofied.
Oh no.
And
no.
and so you see Black Canary. She sees Harley, and she walks by.
Yes.
And she goes into her car.
Because she's like, ugh.
But it's like you see her as she's walking by. She's like, and he's like, where everything was okay, and she's like, and she knows something's wrong,
Yes.
and she keeps on walking to her car, and you feel that reluctance in every step, and then as an audience member, you're like, girl, please turn around,
Yeah.
girl, please turn around, girl, please turn around. But what also was the hard part about that is I feel like if you've ever been in a club or party situation, if you haven't been that girl, quote unquote, you've seen
that
her.
girl, yep.
Yes.
And the fact that this movie shows, it's really more the perspective of Black Canary, and you see her, so you don't really see Harley's perspective, and but I think that's also because at that moment Harley doesn't really have a
She is
perspective. She doesn't
really
really know what's going
impaired,
on.
yes.
And when we think about someone, being roofied, or think about someone, being taken advantage of, we often think of just like the victim, if you will, and the perpetrator. We don't necessarily think about the bystanders.
Right.
And the fact that this movie takes a moment to be like, let's talk about the bystander for a second, because that experience is a lot more common. And I saw it, I was like, shit. And it was, and it's like, and then you also think about your experience. Like, you can't help but remember that time, or that several times, or that time in college, and you think, did I say something? Should I have said something?
How could I have helped? It's always
Right.
that. How could I have, helped this situation?
Yeah.
And for me, another portion of that is the fact that they don't like each other that much at
yeah.
all.
Right. I was going to ask about
At
that.
all. At this point in time, they cannot stand each other. So there's the whole thing of, well, she's... You see, and I mean, Journey just really just acts that scene so well, because you see everything going through her face, where it's just like, wow, that Harley, she's getting what she deserves. It's like, actually, no, she's not. But then, it's Harley, and she gets on my nerves. I'm just gonna go about my business. It's just, it just shows that not everybody that's in that situation, or about to go in that situation, or has gone through that situation, is the perfect victim.
You are correct. But this is why I really wanted to base our conversation on feminism around this movie, because there's a lot, it seems, I haven't seen it, I want to disclaimer that right now, that there's a lot that seems to be happening where we have all had some sort of relation to the occurrences in that movie. So you mentioned the girl who gets drugged. Lord, please, if you've never seen that, I hope you never have to, but for most of us, I'm sure we have seen it happening, it happened and you've seen the girl after. You know, I'm sure we've seen some variation of that. But also, the smallest thing of giving a hairband to a girl whose hair is in her face. We can relate to that.
Oh, yes.
We're seeing Harley... for me, and I'm going to ask you guys the same question. For me, when I was younger and watching, like, Batman, the animated series, I didn't like Harley. Because I was like, why would she put up being abused for so long with some dude who's not even handsome? Whatever. Well, Joker wasn't my cup of tea. I know that, like, a lot of people are on his dick right now. But, you know, she didn't strike me as a character that I wanted to like. But now, seeing Harley emancipated, the fabulous emancipation of Harley Quinn, it's nice. I'm like, damn, maybe I missed out on a lot of years of loving Harley. Because she's free now. And she's kind of cool.
The thing is, she still remains a total jerk.
I like that she's a jerk, but I didn't like that she put up with jerks.
Right, and she's allowed to do all these things. And actually, when I was thinking about Batman the Animated Series, there are two episodes that I can think of off the top of my head where Harley was actually a lot of fun when she was not around the Joker.
Harley's Holiday.
Right.
That's a really good episode.
It's a fantastic episode. So if you don't know it, Harley's Holiday in Batman the Animated Series, she's in Arkham, she gets released, and she's like, "I am free." She doesn't have her makeup on. She's like, "I'm gonna go. I'm gonna an adventure," and she goes to get this dress, and she is just so excited to have this dress, and she's about to pay for it. She's like, "I'm doing it." She's telling everyone in the world, "Look, I'm sane." And it's so adorable because you could feel like how much she wants things to happen and work in her favor, and then. She gives the money to the dress, but the cashier doesn't take the chip off. Oh. And so when she's leaving, the mall cop comes to get her, and he's like, "Hey, I just need to take this chip off," but she panics.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're not taking me back. I just got free." And so it's everything kind of goes off the rails. And it's so sad because you can feel how bad she wants it. And then there's this really sweet scene at the end where, Batman gives her the dress. Yeah. and she gives him this adorable kiss on the cheek, you're really nice.
Yeah. Well, you look at Harley and Batman's interactions throughout their entire existence, and they are all very cute. Does anyone here watch Harley Quinn on DC Universe?
Okay. Haven't paid the money yet.
Yes, I haven't paid the money yet.
I watched that one.
I watched it too.
We spent the $7.99.
Beyond hilarious. It is just amazing. If you have not watched it, you better watch it because I'm in tears every episode because
it's genuinely funny.
Freaking hilarious.
Yes,
it is, and that's my favorite iteration of Poison Ivy.
Mine too.
Okay. I'm so sorry because I cut you off. What was your feeling on that? Because I was just so into it.
Oh my gosh. No. I was going to say, aside from those scenes that you all have brought up, another scene that kind of struck me was when, I'm blanking on the character's name, who basically sold her out at the restaurant.
Oh,
see,
yes. It's the restaurant owner.
Yeah, the restaurant. I forgot his name. Oh man, but the scene in the movie was set up to seem like he was someone who really cared about her.
I'm gonna get so sad.
Maybe I shouldn't say it because of the spoiler. I don't want to spoil it.
Spoiler! Am I gonna cry watching this movie? Because I feel like... Okay.
No. It's just
It's
for
just
me,
so good. It makes you feel every emotion.
Though I will say... The good and bad part about it is that it doesn't give you time to cry.
Okay.
Because then shit goes left.
and then also... Harley as a character, because the way that it's written, she does a lot of the voiceover. She's
oh really?
And so she's just kind of like, "Hey, this is kind of wacky. Hey, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, did it?"
Harley Quinn fashion. Okay.
Yeah. So you do feel these kind of emotional moments, but you don't necessarily have time to immediately digest them. But
I see.
But it's still worth you piecing together. Wait, did I see that? I did.
Yeah.
I need to think about
I'm sorry. Go right.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
We can talk about it now. But I need to go see it.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I was gonna pirate it.
No.
But no. I mean, I felt like I would be doing a disservice to the movie because I would like to give this movie all the money.
Right.
Because all the man baby children that were like, "No, it's not going to make any money. I don't know why I made that face and that sound, but
No, but
that's
I mean,
what
that's the
making.
sound that they make.
That was the sound of the man baby is just crying.
Another thing from the same Hollywood Reporter, when they were showing how Birds of Prey, the birds are. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't blow people's ears out, okay?
They were talking about how, and I forget which movie it was that they were comparing and contrasting it to, where they had similar budgets.
Oh, it was Kingsman
Or something like that. And it was just showing that, this one says, oh, it beats down expectations and it busts down doors and it's really made so much money. And then Birds of Prey flops, but it actually, first of all,
it made its production costs back.
It's doubled its production costs. Yeah. Okay, it's not a flop or whatever, but it's just being presented that way. And I would just like to say to all the haters and detractors, I mean, first of all, it's not a flop, A. B, it's still making money. And C, stay mad because this one made its money. And Captain Marvel also made $1 billion.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've got another one.
Okay.
I've got another one. Guess who tweeted, "Good morning, all you lovely bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches today"?
Oh, the Academy.
The Academy,
yes.
bitch. So, okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
Harley has a love affair with a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Sane person.
Because here's the thing. The Gotham that Harley lives in is not Bruce's Gotham. Because the Gotham she lives in is basically pre-gentrified Brooklyn, basically Queens.
Isn't that kind of what Gotham is?
Well, Gotham is New York, yes, but I'm saying like Bruce lives in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
He lives like on the Upper West Side now, right? Whereas Harley has a local bodega.
Nice.
And so we get to see her go to her bodega. Her bodega guy knows her. She's like, "That's Sal." He's like, "Hey, I love you." He's like, "I love you too." Like she speaks the language of that area and that block. And so she has an entire like monologue about this bacon, egg, and cheese. Because what else I love that they do take Harley through like the classic breakup beats.
Yes.
But to the extreme.
Yes.
Yeah, because Harley.
But I'm like, yes, cut the hair off. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Breakup beat.
Cheese whiz. We've been there.
Get the food, fill up on the carb, like all of that.
Yeah.
Like, and I appreciate that so much. And so she has this thing where she's just like in this love affair with this sandwich because it's like, yes. So fast forward to the Academy, referencing that specifically to Harley Quinn. It's like, stay mad, bitches.
Yes.
Wow.
Stay mad.
Because with this movie, it's just, I cannot even begin to just tell you the love that I have for this movie from A to Z. It's the European way. A to Z, okay? I just love it, love it, love it. From the action, from the fashion. We will get to the fashion because child today. Okay?
I cannot believe the men who were like, "This isn't sexy." Bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then we also will have to talk about the two main villains, okay? My future ex-baby father.
Wait, spoilers. Also, that man fine though.
Powered by Quirktastic.
Okay, we're back. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Leticia, but the camera cut, so I had to.
Okay, so we shall rewind.
Oh, we're back?
Momentary cracker break.
There is food and wine in this podcast, and we have no shame.
We classy.
Classy bitches. But what I was saying was that in Birds of Prey, our two villains are actually in a very like loving relationship with each other, where they
so beautiful.
They depend on each other, they trust each other, they are really loyal and try to look out for each other. And so, for all their ridiculous villainy, that is certifiably evil. We also
they're really bad.
They're horrible, but we do get this glimpse into like this kind of solid like emotional content. And then there's also the fact that can't be denied that it's it's Christmas Scene and Ian McGregor. Like,
I mean,
these facts cannot be repeated.
I was just there. I watched it once with my girls, and then watched with my better half. And with all due respect, and he knows I love him. we have a strong, solid relationship.
I like how you're qualifying this a lot.
You keep
Okay.
on qualifying.
Okay.
Comma.
Boo.
Comma.
But
Love
golly,
you.
I was just sitting there like, Chris and this blonde hair is
Yes!
changing things for me right now. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. I mean, and then when Black Mass towards the end, no spoiler, but he of course obviously puts on his black mask, and then you know he does the thing with his suit where he puts and he gets out of the car and he just straightens his jacket.
Oh.
I melted into a
Yes.
full puddle. Okay.
That, I mean, what were you supposed to do?
My
You're
goodness.
powerless.
Okay, so let's just say that there is the gaze for everybody. Okay.
There's the male gaze, which we respect deeply.
And the thing is, what made me laugh was that, you know, Harley technically is wearing less clothing than
Yeah.
she was in Suicide Squad. But I guess because it wasn't from the perspective of a 14-year-old boy, I guess that deems it not sexy. And I'm
But
just letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
But then also,
They were
there
sexy all around.
not only is it sexy all around, but like, let's talk about this idea that for some reason apparently you can't be sexy and comfortable at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is some bullshit.
That was
Right.
ultimately it, because they blatantly said that Margot picked out a lot of her pieces.
Right. Because if you go back to your outfit in Suicide Squad, I don't know if you've ever worn sequins on your crotch.
Yeah.
It sucks.
I did for a show once. No.
No, ma'am.
It's a no. It's a strong no. Trying to maintain yourself, and you're going down the runway with sequin. It's a strong
Not
no.
in this economy, everyone.
That's-
No.
Yes.
And then also, you may be confused. What do you mean that she's technically wearing less clothes here than she was in Suicide Squad? Because in Suicide Squad, she was wearing stockings, bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knee-high boots.
Right.
Oh, excuse me.
I mean,
They were shin high, but we're going knee high because that's what the cosplayers are doing. Okay, girls?
And
That's what they're doing.
I mean, yes, it was male gazing, but that still was a hot outfit, though. Those
was a hot
boots.
outfit.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Hollow back boots.
and you can't take away one thing that I think is interesting. And it's weird to want to have a conversation about pigtails, but I do. So you have Harley Quinn's pigtails in Suicide Squad, where they're long and like curly Q and
Yeah.
like
And they
very
stayed
Yeah.
cute and in place for most of the movie, and it was just like,
right, and it's like, oh, look at me, I'm cute. Now, and I guess that in image is kind of like one type of girl, if you will, where that's like a kind of cute and adorable, like, oh my gosh, you're really cute. Whereas in this one, she's in pigtails again, but they're cut off and short. And that kind of gives you the image of, oh, this girl climbs trees and likes to punch people. It just has a different quality, which I think is kind of fascinating. And it's like, if you talk about kind of the gaze, if you will, you know, Harley is, yes, you know, still skimpily dressed, but she's
Comfortable.
She's comfortable. Like, it feels like she owns
Yeah.
it. It feels like it's something that she would want to put on her body. And it also looks like she's perfectly putting on her body to, you know, to adventure in, to do whatever. As opposed to in Suicide Squad, where it's still cute and she still, you know, does her thing with her bat. It's very adorable. But she also is in a space full of men, and it feels like she's very aware that she's the only girl around.
I want to bring up her her shirt in Suicide Squad. If you guys remember, it said "Daddy's Little Monster."
Right.
She's giving and I know it's a shirt, I get it, but she's giving the possession of herself to whom we may assume is the Joker. In
Same
this
thing
one,
with
she
the
has
collar.
And the same thing with the collar. You're correct. And then in this movie, from what I've seen, again, I haven't watched the movie, so don't flame me. Shut up. But in this one, I believe she has a shirt that says "I'm Harley motherfucking Quinn" or something like that. Harley Quinn motherfuckers. It's like Harley motherfucker and then something else.
I mean, I thought it was just Harley Quinn,
yeah,
Harley
it's
Quinn,
just
Harley
Harley
Quinn.
Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I added the
But
motherfucker.
she does reference one thing that I also liked about it, because I actually enjoyed Suicide Squad. I know a lot of people did not, but I did. And I like the fact that it was still kind of like it still referenced the old movie. And in one part of it, she still has that shirt. And she still has fond memories of that shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And she still is just like, oh, you know, this still was a part of me. This was a part of who I was. And so she chooses to keep it. So I like the callbacks to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, if you guys ever watch the Harley Quinn on DC Universe, she is basically, it's amazing because she's processing this shit with Joker. And you see her go through the stages, and she gets to this place where she's finally like, I am Harley Quinn. I'm good with that. I feel like the movie was kind of like already in that headspace. But if you watch the DC Universe Harley Quinn, it's really nice to watch her go through everything.
And Renee Montoya, too.
Yes.
Oh, let's talk about Rosie Perez. And I need
No, we got to raise a glass to her. Raise
a glass to Rosie motherfucking Perez.
I tell you, Rosie.
We didn't get to do pre-show shot, but we have it during show 1.
Yay!
But, Joe, go
Rosie
right
Perez?
ahead. We're going to let you
Yeah.
go in and talk about Rosie, because also I want to start. Shout out.
So I actually never heard of her character before this movie. I've only heard of the Oracle, like that Batgirl, you know what I mean, that set of Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
And when I saw her character, the first thing I thought of was because you can clearly tell that her age is a little bit older than the.
Yes.
I love that. I feel like when people watch Birds of Prey or think of DC Comics, they always think of like a young, fit superhero. And not that she isn't fit or anything like that, but she clearly is on the older side, I think, than compared to the other Birds of Prey. So I feel like I love that first of all they added her into this movie, that they gave her a role, that they gave her a voice, because for me and all the other people I've spoken to, they've only heard of the Oracle, that set.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have her a woman of color, also a different age, still strong and able-bodied, that the fact that and her whole story
and don't forget an open lesbian.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
And
right.
like her progression in the story and in the whole like cop world, and how she at the end she's just like, fuck it, I don't care. You know what I mean? No spoilers or anything like that, even though
We've been spoiling all that.
Yeah, but you know, I kind of just gave it away. I think they did
spoilers.
they gave that character was such a good move, I think.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then also, like, I love that she had a career.
Yes.
She had a past. She came in with a lot.
Fully fleshed
You know,
out.
fully, and then also even in her relationship, I mean, not that you absolutely don't need to be like, oh, and she's a lesbian, da 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 da. It was
Because it's just there. It's
right.
just
It was just
as
like,
it should be. It's
right.
just
She's
there. It's
like,
a part
I have
of
a
life.
relationship. I have a tenuous relationship, and my significant other doesn't really like me right now. Not to mention that was Ali Wong.
That was Ali Wong.
Yeah.
Ali Wong?
Yes.
Ali Wong was in this.
Oh my god. Yeah, I should have just gone to go see it.
The diversity in this film is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And it's not like diversity just to be like, oh, there's a black person
Right.
talking in the background.
Right.
Check mark.
Yeah.
It was not, because that's my pet peeve.
Me
Forced
too.
diversity.
Right.
Just
Just
don't
so
do it.
obvious.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
not-
quick pause. Hold on. Let's draw attention to this. We, women of color,
Hi.
we also don't like forced diversity. If you did not watch the previous episode of this podcast, I talk about
First
good
of all,
and bad
shame on you
representation.
for not watching.
She does talk about good and bad representation.
Yes.
And because we are at a point where women and women of color and people of color in general do have more access to writing, do have more access
Yes.
to production, do have more access to directing, then that means that we're going to show you a fucking neighborhood. We're going to show you what it looks like. We're going to show you what it feels like to be in our skin.
Yes.
So if you want like good representation of what this looks like, you know what Harley Quinn's neighborhood, like that's what you saw.
Yes.
You saw a neighborhood.
Oh, it was
you know
so
one of the
great.
best representations of a neighborhood I've seen? Kamala Khan in Jersey City.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Where you see like a Vietnamese restaurant, you see an Indian restaurant, she's just walking by. You see her just walking around with hen on her hand. Why? Because the day ends in Y, and that's just her life. And it's a beautiful thing. And so with
Just like Into the Spider-Verse.
oh
My
yes.
Oh, praise that
Walking
movie.
down, that's just a moment of silence because it was amazing. But you also get to, that was my representation. I just loved it because,
Yeah,
you know,
such
growing
a
up
great
in a
film.
bilingual household, first of all,
Bilingual.
your mom will be, love you mom, will be like, you know, get ready to go to school, and she'll say it in the 4 different languages that she speaks.
To make sure you heard it.
and then insist on taking you to school, insist on kissing you in front of everybody. But when you're going through the neighborhood, you just felt the neighborhood. You see the kids going to the private school, you see the public school kids, you see the kids that might not be going to school. You know, it's just great. I love that. So that's what we need more of, and that's what I loved about Birds of Prey.